Has it got a tuner?
Yeah. Stevie Ray Vaughan, SRV.
Oh.
Which is a cool sound.
Probably get a copyright strike. So I better not.
Yeah. So anyway, I was playing around with my own sounds.
It's the first time I've played blues on this channel.
Oh my.
Sorry, continue.
This is so weird, you playing blues.
Sorry, carry on.
I don't know if I want to now. So obviously you have the presets, and you can tweak them with everything up here. So you've got the delay and reverb,
which looks the same as their Atlantic.
Yes, I think it probably is. I don't know if it is.
You've got an Atlantic. How do you not know?
Well, how would I know it's definitely the same thing?
Just go. Does it sound the same?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it is then. The Atlantic delay and reverb. Sorry, so
yeah.
I keep interrupting, but
you
the Atlantic delay and reverb is. Yeah, I am a knob. It's really good. It's good having delay and reverb in one pedal.
Yeah, really.
So I'd be happy to have that in there.
Yeah. So whether it is or not, this still works well. The next bit's the modulation and effects. So you've got chorus, trem, and phaser.
Oh, that's all your modulation effects then that we might need in tracks. We don't need a mod pedal. We can just run it through this.
Yeah, it has pretty much everything you need. The effects is compressor, filter, and pitch.
Sounds like an octave.
Oh god. You can start with any of the presets, play around with it if you want. If you want to save what you've done, you just hold down, I think it's that one.
So it's intuitive as well. Did you read the manual or just...
No, I wanted to play around with it without using the manual whatsoever.
And did that work well?
Yes. The only bit I did need to find out was how to use the naming part of when you save it.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it on another one because I did it on this one to create my own patch.
I'm sorry, was the manual good?
Yeah, the manual's actually quite handy.
Because some manuals, Strymon, great manuals.
Yeah. What was the one that we didn't like?
Some of them come with a sheet. The one we didn't like was Universal Audio.
Yeah, we didn't have the actual physical manual, so I don't know if it was just maybe the online one's not
You're
quite
using a crap phone as well, using a Huawei or something.
I just want to change what's on the internet.
Yeah, ruins everything.
With these 32 different options, you can then overwrite that.
Can we hear
and
your...
call it whatever you want.
Can we listen to your one?
But you can swap it between the original one and your own one. So
That's
32.
a cool feature.
Yeah, 32C is the SRV one. I was just messed about with it, and
that's where you started at 32.
It's because I got to there and I was just playing around, and then I
went through all the sounds to 32.
Yeah,
mate, I went through like 2 on everything I've ever had, and been like, nah, don't like it, overwrite. Wow.
So this is what I created.
You wrote over Stevie.
Yeah, but you can go back to Stevie. You just press this down. No, that is not what happened. So you use these foot switches to move around if you're playing, but if you're on, say, the one that you've created, the only way to get back to the original is to press this button, which you're not going to use as a foot switch.
Yeah,
it's a bit annoying. So it'd be cool if you could do that from one of the switches.
I
mean, you could kick that down, but
sack
it's quite
off
difficult.
The presets because they almost always sound crap.
No, there's some good ones on here. Let me just find some of the ones that I think were quite good.
I am ready. Are we talking neck, middle, or bridge pickup? Hopefully not the middle pickup.
There's a Gary Moore one that was alright. This one's Eagles, which is a bit like effectsy.
I can't think of anything Eaglesy.
You don't have to play whatever
I do.
says. Let's play Stevie Ray Vaughan.
This sounds like the Eagles, does it? Very low endy.
Well, you do have the EQ here, so you could just take some of that out if you wanted to.
Just sack off that low end.
This one's called Pete Slow, SLO. I don't know who this
Do you
Pete
think
is.
this is based on Peter Norrie?
Could be Pete Townsend.
Because I'm sure he's done there's a pedal called the Slow. Surely
could
they're
be.
not basing sounds on Pete. I mean, don't get me wrong. Why is it making... There's a noise gate in there. But I'm not saying Pete's not famous enough, but like...
But you'd think he'd know about it.
Yeah. Imagine that.
But yeah,
just
it's like, what, 1, 2, about 6 or 7 there?
6 or 7. Maybe they're massive Danish Pete fans. Doesn't sound very Pete, does it?
No.
There's a massive noise gate on that.
That's called Pete Boost JCM.
Pete doesn't play JCM. This must be some other Pete.
Just so you are aware, you've also got these buttons where you can switch things on and off. So you've got the NR, which I Don't know if that's noise reduction.
Okay, yeah. Noise, yeah, turn that right off.
There's an amp one, a cab one, and an EQ.
Oh, so it's easy to turn the cab sim and amp sim off.
Yeah, you can just switch them on.
So we're running through a positive grid FRFR cab, the Fur. We can run this to effects return of an amp, which we could do in a minute. Mm-hmm. Let's listen to your setting on that, and then I'll whack in the effects return. So you've made this. What is your setting? What is your vibe?
It was a multi one, but it was mainly clean and a little bit of. You could add the boosting. I think was just a little bit of.
How clean is it?
Quite.
Oh, there's a lot of reverb.
When you're on the one that you want to amend, you can press on this one, the parameter thing, and you can scroll through each of the options. So you've got delay and reverb, which you can mess about with. You've got the SR, which send and return. I just didn't even look at that.
Oh, it's got an effects loop.
Then you've got the EQ you can mess around with. Then choose your cab. So if you go into the cab section, there's a couple of different options that you scroll through.
So it's like every other effects thing, but in that respect. It seems quite like the way how you access stuff and turn things off and on.
Yeah.
Which is a bit like the Pherotone. Yeah, that's.
It's got quite a lot of options for these cabs. So it's got what things that you'd guess like black 112 would be a black star 112
cab.
Cab, I'd imagine.
Would it be a black or cone rear of the?
Or
cone.
one of those. Yeah. There's tweed 410. There's custom 412 twin. 212, which is like a Fender one, isn't it?
So it's got all the cabs you'd expect.
And they've got little pictures on the side. You haven't seen it, so.
Oh yeah, I'll give you a bit of an idea.
So
how
that
funny.
looks like a Fender, doesn't it?
That's quite cool.
Yeah, and then you can select them. You can mess about them a little bit if you want to. You can change the.
Would you gig with this?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think so.
Very confident.
Yeah, I mean it's.
So today we've tried Strymon Iridium, Universal Audio Lion, Friedman, which I thought was brilliant. The Hughes and Kettler ones, which I also thought were quite good.
Yeah.
We've tried DSM Humboldt. We know what the Valton's like. We tried the. Where would this rank? Like,
I think it comes back to what you want to do.
Well, you'd take this to a gig, you said. Whereas a lot of the other ones, you're like, nah.
Yeah. Some of them I wouldn't use.
I think the Humboldt and the Friedman, you said you definitely would, and this.
I think if I played around with that, got a few settings that I liked, assigned them to probably patch 1, A, B, and C, clean, overdrive, distortion-y. That'd probably be it. Maybe a second lot would have like some weird effects or something that I could turn on and off. That would be all I need.
Okay, you can't just click on another overdrive though, can you? There's boost.
Yeah, the boost is the thing that I would have thought. So if you go back to, I can't remember, but on my one. So if you play like anything,
but I like having a boost in the effects. Can you change the order of effects? I mean, most of the time they come in the same. What I'm trying to say is, if you've got a sound, you're like, oh, this is great, it's coming to the solo. You've got a boost. I don't always want it to boost the front end because it just pushes it to get more gain, which I don't want it more driven. I want the sound louder, which is why I put it in the effects loop. It's intuitive. It sounds like you don't have to do too much manual.
I'd say like 90% of it you can just do it without
That's
manual.
what you want. I hate it when you're like, this just isn't working. No, we're not going through an amp, so we need the amp. So we don't need the cab. So. Bristle, but that's, the volume.
Yeah, and then you can put the boost on if you need. Yeah, there's a phaser.
Ooh. Just have a clean. Just a beautiful, beautiful clean, please. clean.
Well, I mean, there's going to be other. This is just one thing that I put together. This isn't like I wasn't going for a super clean thing.
Should have done.
Sorry to disappoint. See if that's clean.
Good.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Wow.
Like I say, it's intuitive.
How much is it? 300?
I think so. Didn't actually look. Did you look?
I don't know. I think it's 300.
350.
350?
Or Anston's 340. Yeah.
Okay, so £350, £340. It's a little bit more than like a UA Lion or a Strymon Iridium. I mean, it does tons more, but that is different. That's just a cab sim, which I think is more, you've already got your pedal board, you just want to not have an amp type thing.
Yeah, and it has that send and return thing, which I didn't even look at, and you might use. I don't know.
Well, you could use this as just your cab sim anyway. You know, I've used that with the Pherotone like that. I don't think it works particularly well like that, weirdly. But 300 quid, 350. Comparing it to, what about the Hughes and Kettner Amp Man? I know they're very different.
Yeah, there's a lot more in this, I think. The only other thing that I've used which is similar would be that Zoom G5 or whatever that pedal was I had before.
Oh yeah, well, your Boss thing was a little bit like that. I saw the Boss ME.
Yeah, but I had the bass one. I didn't have the guitar one.
Oh, but functionality wise,
yeah, it'd be the same thing. But
was it?
I'd say this is definitely a step up from the Zoom one, which was about 200 and something.
Would you recommend it
to anyone if you're new to using these? Definitely, because it's a price where I'd be happy to pay for a multi-effects unit that's decent.
Where I find a good example is if one of your kids was like, "I'm going to buy this," would you be like,
if
"Whoa."
they were really playing guitar, they could play with that for hours because there's so many different sound options you can play. It's easy to use, and they could just go and save. You could go into every one of those 98 settings and overwrite it and just have 98 of your own sounds. You could mess about with a really clean one, a distorted one, some weird little effects things that you could do, or you could just go through all the presets. There will definitely be something that you'll like. No one's going to use every one of those.
The thing is, you like it, you'd buy it and you'd recommend it to someone, especially someone that's like, don't you care about, like, your kids.
If you said, would you use that or the DSM Humboldt? The DSM Humboldt has a lot less to it, but it's so good at what it does.
It's also double the price, though, isn't it? Some people are like, well, I've only got 300 quid, not 5.
Yeah, that does everything you need. It will do. If I had to choose between that and the Pherotone, I'd choose that because of the tuner and because I know it's simple to use. I like the knobs are easy to use. If this is the Atlantic, I have the Atlantic and I really like it, so that makes that part easy. Delay and reverb together is quite simple.
And here's a video on the Pherotone. Really good video, really good unit. Tuner doesn't work. Apart from that, I really like it.